$81K is not a substantial a lot of money. You're talking about you got beat.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookah_anonymous_. All right? We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookah_anonymous_. Alright, now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, 50 Cent's son, Marquis Jackson, his first son, the one we all seen in the Wankster video way back when 50 was on fire. Now, here's the thing. He's been going on this rant about his father for the longest. You know, and I decided to speak on this because I feel it's getting out of hand. And the problem is a lot of people are siding with him for the simple fact out of emotion. You know, forget logic. People are going off emotion. And I understand what people are saying. Oh, that's his father. He should do this. Everybody feel what a person should do when they're not in that position. And it's never good when the family feuds. What's that line Jay-Z said? Nobody win when the family feud. Right? And I'm a strong believer of when you do something in public, sometimes there's no coming back from it. And I'm gonna tell you why, right? And I speak in reference to Marquis when, you know, going public and saying certain things about his father. He gotta understand 50 Cent is a brand within himself. So when you go public and you say certain things, you do certain things, you're gonna get a reaction out of 50 Cent that you probably wouldn't get if you said things in private. And I say that because, you know, pride plays a big part in anything, especially when it comes to men. So at the end of the day, when you do or say certain things publicly and you get a certain answer publicly, sometimes it's a little harsh or sometimes you may not agree with it. However, if you would have said it privately, you would have got a different response because now you don't got the fans all in the social media saying whatever, you know, giving their opinion. You don't got other people's opinions trying to persuade an answer that you're trying to get from a certain individual. We all know it's like, and this is just regular because we all went through this. You know, when you go through things, when you say something to somebody in front of people, you get a different response than you would in private because sometimes they got to poke their chest out and not, you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's the case, but sometimes that play a big part. A pride, you know, pride, what's the other word I'm looking for? It's a couple, but anyway, let's get into it, right? Now, Marquis, he went on live, did a live interview with Choke No Joke. Now, for y'all that don't know who Choke No Joke is, shout out to him. He's a legendary videographer from way back in the days that used to run with the likes of Rockefeller, the whole Dame Dash, and Jay-Z before they split up. You know, he had caught a lot of footage from back in the days when it wasn't cool to sit there and videotape guys and be around. You know, this is before the social media era and the whole YouTube and all that. So he got a lot of stuff from back in the days. Now him and Jay-Z and them fell out, and you know, so now he's on Instagram and YouTube speaking his piece and whatever the case may be. So he did an interview with Marquis Jackson, and to make a long story short, somehow it segued into child support and how much Marquis was getting from 50 Cent at one point in time. Now, here's where he kind of made himself look crazy and shot himself in the foot because he began to say that he was getting $6,700 a month to live off of, and he said that is not enough. Now, let me tell you right now, you got people working construction that don't even make that kind of money, and they working for it, right? Give or take. Let's say your rent is $2,000. You live in New York, your rent is $2,000. And all your bills came up to another $1,000. And that's pushing it. But I'm just, you know, I'm just saying, let's speak in retrospect. you would still have $3,700 left over to spend on anything else you want, including the child or the mother, on top of whatever job you yourself may have as the parent with whatever other income. What more do you want other than $6,700 for a child a month? Now, here's a problem that I got, because I've seen this with my own two eyes. The problem is, child support doesn't usually just be for the child. You got these parents that use child support as a way for them, thinking that that's for them as well. You know, they spend child support money on everything but the child. And that's not how it works. You know, so child support isn't for you to get the latest designer kicks. Child support isn't for you to get the latest designer clothes, bag. It's not to fund your lifestyle. Child support is support for the child. And if you ask me, $6,700 for a child is a lot of money. You know, then his argument was that he had to rebuild his life. $6,700 really isn't enough. He said, consider living in New York. In the climate of New York, first of all, let me tell you, especially back then, the rent wasn't as crazy as it is now. You know, so like I said, let's say you do $2,000 or even $2,500 in rent. You know, that will still be enough, including the bills. But it wasn't no $2,500, it wasn't $2,000, no none of that. You could have got a nice, affordable, a nice little spot, whether it's a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom, for at least $1,500 to $1,800, and you'd be good. You know, and he tried to say, well, if you was to rebuild your life and had to live off $6,700 a month, would you do it? Yeah. Yeah. We done did it for less. You know, there's people that did it for less. People done made it work with less than $6,700. See, and he made himself look real crazy on that interview. And like Choke said, he brought up a good point. He said, yo, at the end of the day, a lot of people are looking at you crazy right now because a lot of mothers are only getting about $200 to $500 in child support. You'll be lucky to get anywhere close to $1,000 in child support if you in the hood. You getting $6,700 and you complaining? But like I said, Choke made another point. So if he's giving $6,700 a month, match that with her $6,700 because she's supposed to be able to have that as well, right? So if you match that with hers, you at almost $14,000, $13,000 to $14,000. So that's more than enough. That's more than enough. But let's be honest. You know, let's be real here. No matter if 50 was to give 10 or 20,000 a month, nothing would be enough because of how Marquis was programmed due to him being around his mother all the time. You know, and y'all may disagree, and this is what this platform is for. Y'all get in the comments and y'all let me know how y'all feel. But inevitably, he spent most of his childhood growing up with his mother, and she got through to him more because that's who he was around. And you know that there's nothing like a mother and son bond anyway. So of course he's going to side more with his mother. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that 50 was the best father. You know, who knows? But from the things that Marquis did publicly and then try to make his father seem like the bad guy, I can't agree with it. I'm sorry. And if y'all remember, he done went as far as publicly taking pictures with guys that 50 Cent didn't like while they were beefing. You know, if y'all remember, when 50 Cent got into that whole thing with Slow Bucks, really Slow, he went and took a picture with Slow, Marquis and Slow. They had a picture. He put it up on Instagram, and you know, it was like a jab at 50. Now, also the kid is of age, man. I think this convo is going a little further than what it's supposed to. I don't know how old he is. I gotta look up how old he is, but I know he's over 18 at this point. So when is the child support, you know, foolishness gonna stop? When is the money? It seems like he sees that's his way of gaining attention, and he uses it time after time, every time he pop up out the woodworks. Because if you pay attention, every now and then, every time he pops up and he goes viral, it's because he's talking about his father. But come on, man. We gotta stop that. It's getting old now. You know, when it first came out, we all was like, oh, you know, that's messed up. 50 this, because let me tell you, people are gonna automatically be against 50 because of the persona that we see of him now. We know 50, he play around all the time. 50 is ruthless. So a lot of people see that and be like, well, I'm pretty sure, that's true. I'm pretty sure X, Y, and Z. But nah, man, at this point in time, like I said, he just shot himself in the foot, Marquis, by saying that $6,700 isn't enough money. If I'm not mistaken, that's 6,700 times 12. I mean, yeah, 6,700 times. That's about 80,000, 80.4. So $80,000 a year. $80,000 a year for doing nothing sounds pretty good to me. And the problem is, what I noticed when these celebrities go for child support, the parent that's putting them through child support, they try their hardest to get the most. So the welfare of the child is lost within the parent's greed, because it's not for the money at that point. I mean, it's not for the well-being of the child. It's for the money. It's for her to think that she's not going to be able to work, or do anything because she's going to live off that money because of her child. It don't work like that. I'm sorry. I know everybody probably be like, let me tell you, don't act out of emotion. When you reply to this and you say whatever you say in the comments, don't act out of emotion. Think about logic. Think about some of these people that go on child support that don't have jobs, that purposely do it, or that put their significant other on child support due to personal issues, and sometimes not only financially. It don't really be about the financial problems. It be like personal problems that they do it for. Think about that. Think about this kid just saying that $6,700 isn't enough to live off of a month. Think about that. When I know people that makes $2,500 to $3,000 in total a month, that's really working hard for it. So it's a lot of things to put in perspective, man. I just disagree with this so much. And I think it probably hit personal because I seen this with my own two eyes before. The child support system be abused by bitterness rather than actual problems. That's usually how it go. But it is what it is. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.